If you want the Giants to beat the Jets this Sunday for the Battle of MetLife Stadium, I need you to subscribe to the channel. Sub for Giants Dubs, and I need you to hit that sub button because we are getting so close to 38,000 subscribers, and I'd really appreciate it. Coming up on today's show, we are going to preview this Week 8 matchup between the Giants and Jets. I'm going to give you my keys to victory for Big Blue, and I'll also predict who's going to win this matchup. Let's start, though, with some injury news at the top of the show. Rookie center John Michael Schmitz could be playing this Sunday. He was back at practice on Wednesday, and he continued to practice on Thursday, but the big key of that was he participated in team drills, which tells me he's on the right track. And I think he's honestly going to play this Sunday. It'll be the first time since week 4 that JMS is back on the football field playing for the New York Football Giants. He is the stabilizer across this offensive line. I heard a saying once that your O-line is only as good as your center, and I think that applies for the New York Giants. Getting him healthy out there is going to help protect whether it be Daniel Jones or Tyrod Taylor in the pocket, and it's also going to help Saquon Barkley find some of those tough yards on the interior of that offensive line. The question is, though, will Andrew Thomas be playing? Sounds like John Michael Schmitz might. I'm not so sure that Andrew Thomas will. He was back at practice on Wednesday, back at practice on Thursday, but I have not heard that he participated in team drills, which tells me he's probably still a week away from playing. But this is a step in the right direction. Has not played since week 1, had a setback to that hamstring injury in week 4, and the fact that he's at practice and he practiced 2 days in a row, is good news for the Giants. Hopefully next week, the Giants will have Andrew Thomas protecting the blind side of their quarterback against the Las Vegas Raiders. From left tackle to right tackle, is Evan Neal going to play? Well, he was limited at practice all week long, dealing with that ankle injury. Did not play last week. Is he going to play this week? I'm not so sure. If I had to say right now, I would say Evan Neal is not going to play. I don't think Andrew Thomas is going to play. I don't think Evan Neal is going to play. But I am expecting for JMS to be out there. So what is the offensive line going to look like? This would be my best guess. Once again, Justin Pugh at left tackle, Ben Bredesen at left guard, John Michael Schmitz at center, Mark Lewinsky, who has picked up his play as of late at the right guard position. And then for the second week in a row, I believe Tyree Phillips is going to be at that right tackle spot. If Evan Neal's healthy, he'll be at right tackle. But from what I'm hearing, it doesn't sound all too encouraging for the second-year offensive tackle out of Alabama. The full injury report for the Giants is this. The guys that were limited at practice, Saquon Barkley with an elbow, Graham Gano with a left knee injury, but he was on the side closer to completely active. He is going to play this Sunday. Adoree Jackson did not play last week, still on the injury report. I hope he's out there this week. Daniel Jones, once again, has not been cleared for contact. Told you about Evan Neal and John Michael Schmitz. And then Kayvon Thibodeau and Andrew Thomas finished that off, as well as Darren Waller. I'm expecting everybody on this screen right now to play outside of Daniel Jones and Andrew Thomas, and then a question mark around Evan Neal. But hopefully the Giants get healthy, as this is a winnable game and one that can swing their season in the right direction. You could be 3-5 going into a game against the Las Vegas Raiders. With a win against them would put you one game away from 500. But before we talk about the Raiders, you got to handle what's in front of you this Sunday, and that's the New York Jets. So I want to ask all the real ones out there, who do you got? Who do you got winning this ball game? Is it the Giants? Is it the Jets? Type NYG for the Giants or NYJ for the New York Jets. Coming up in a second, I'm going to give you my keys to victory for the New York Giants, and I'm also going to give you my prediction, the exact score prediction of this game. But first, I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Kudo Popcorn. I'm a huge fan of Kudo Popcorn, and I promise if you guys give them a chance, you are also going to be a fan of them. If you use the promo code CHAT at kudosnacks.com, Kudo is going to hook you up with 25% off your first order. Are you on the hunt for a new guilt-free snack? Meet Kudo, the official protein popcorn of the UFC. Kudo Popcorn's revolutionary cooking methods allow each bag of popcorn to have 10 grams of whey protein isolate in every bag while still tasting absolutely delicious. Yes, you heard that right. 10 whole grams of protein in every bag. Get in on the snacking revolution that MMA athletes Michael Chandler, Robbie Lawler, Bruce Buffer, and even Dana White himself endorse. For a limited time, our listeners get 25% off their entire order with code CHAT at kudosnacks.com. You'll be amazed how Kudo Popcorn has somehow made your favorite healthy snack even tastier and healthier. For a limited time, Giants Now listeners get an exclusive 25% off discount when they use the code CHAT at kudosnacks.com. That's 25% off with code CHAT at KUDOSnacks.com. Save some money, support the official protein of the UFC, and get popped. I'm a huge fan of the white cheddar flavor. I also like all of them, but that would be my favorite. Get hooked up with them. The information is clickable in the comments and description of today's show. So the Giants are going to enter this game as 3-point underdogs, as the game is set to kick off at 1 p.m. Eastern time. But this right here is crazy. The total over-under in this matchup is 37. So what does that tell you? Las Vegas thinks this is going to be a slugfest between two defenses. The last couple of weeks, the Giants defense has been playing their tail off, and the Jets, they have a good defense of their own. Let's take a look at some overall stats for both of these ball clubs. You look at the points scored per game, the Giants average the least amount of points in the NFL at 12.1, while the Jets are ranked 22nd in points per game. Total yards per game, both teams are in the bottom 6 of the league. They're honestly both two bad offenses. The rushing yards per game leans a little bit in the way of the Jets. I think it's a little bit skewed because Saquon Barkley has only played about half of the season. The Jets, though, are the worst offense in the league on third downs. They convert third downs on just 25%. That's going to be key. Fourth down percentage, they've converted 60% of those, and then time of the possession is about the same. Let's go from offense to defense here. Both defenses are strong. The Jets allow just 19.8 points per game, while the Giants give up 25. But if you look at this Giants defense and separate their seasons into two and factor in the last 3 weeks compared to the prior 3, this defense is one of the best in the league. Total yards per game about the same at 351. The Jets and Giants pass defense is about the same, and their rush defense is about the same. So it's two even teams, in my opinion. Where is this game going to be swung, though? Turnovers and third down. Whichever offense is able to have more success moving the chains on third down and turns the ball over less than the other team, I literally think it's that easy. Win the turnover battle and be better on third down than the New York Jets, and the Giants can have a chance to get to 3-5 on the season. Let's get into some keys to victory. Number 1, let Saquon Barkley eat. This is going to be a big game for Saquon Barkley because right now he's the leading touch getter for this team, but he's also the best playmaker on this team. And the Giants have been letting Saquon cook over the last 2 weeks. He has 52 touches over the last 2 games. And if Tyrod Taylor is going to be under center for this ball club once again, the Giants, they need to lean on the production of 26. And with the Jets not being a great rush defense, allowing 135.2 rushing yards per game, which ranks 26th in the National Football League, this needs to be a game that Saquon Barkley dominates. Also remember this. Saquon grew up a fan of the Jets. And when he was speaking to the media, he was asked, does he still remember and try to get motivation from his last performance versus the Jets? And he said, absolutely, I think about it all the time. Because in that game, Saquon Barkley, he had 13 rushes for 1 yard. So we're going to get a motivated 26 against his childhood team in the Battle of New York at MetLife Stadium. I got a big game coming up for number 26. Key number 2. It's pretty chalk, but I think it's the biggest key of them all. Get after Zach Wilson. Do not let Zach Wilson operate from a clean pocket. Do not let Zach Wilson to hit that 3-step drop and find a read and fire off that foot. Make him go off of his first read. Make him read his keys. Make him go through his progressions and also get the heat going because the Jets' offensive line this year is shaky at best. They've allowed 20 sacks on the season, which is tied for 5th in the National Football League. And if you talk about why the Giants' defense has been able to pick up their play, it's because of their defensive line. Guys like Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, and Kayvon Thibodeau have been able to get after the quarterback. They were dominant in their win last week against Washington. Azeez Ojulari, he's still hurt. He still remains on injured reserve. But this is a game for 99, number 5, and most importantly, number 97. Dexter Lawrence, I better see that sexy Dexy dance a couple of times in the backfield right here. I need to see 97 making plays, cashing checks in the backfield. I want Zach Wilson to be scared of Dexter Lawrence after this game, just like Sam Howell was last week. Because this guy right here, he's the best defensive tackle in the NFL right now, and he once again needs to go out and prove it this week against his shaky Jets O-line. This guy can determine the game on the interior. I'm excited for him to go to work. An offensive key for the Giants. Find number 12 and find him early and often. Over the past couple of weeks, the Giants have started to target Darren Waller a little bit more. Waller had 8 targets last week in the win, and I thought that every time he got targeted, a productive play happened. Why do I think this is a big week for Darren, though? The New York Jets have allowed 5 receiving touchdowns to tight ends this year. They have nobody on this defense that really can guard him. Tyrod Taylor, if you're the quarterback, he's 6'6", and he's a guy with a huge catch radius. On 3rd and 15, you hit him on that seam route, and it was a big play. Find 12, find him early, and feed him often. You look at what he's done so far through the season. 7 games played, 35 receptions, 388 yards, 10.9 yards per catch. Had his first touchdown of the year last year, and I'm expecting him to continue to be brought into this offense because I'll tell you what, next week against the Raiders, the Giants are going to be throwing to 12 at all times, and I want to see that once again against the Jets this week. The last key, and there's multiple ways the Giants can win this game, but these are the 4 things I want to see them do the most. But if I had to pick any of these things to see happen and come to fruition, it's number 4. Get Jalin Hyatt the rock in one-on-one situations. If Hyatt is one-on-one, he's open. And if he's even, he is leaving. If the deep E is in the pocket of Jalin Hyatt, he's open. Because when Hyatt sees the ball in the air, he taps into a gear that not a lot of other people in the National Football League have. He is a special player. He just needs more opportunities. Listen to this. The guy has 9 catches for 195 yards on the season, right? He's averaging 21.7 yards per reception. He is a big play player. And I don't think that anybody outside of Sauce Gardner on this defense can guard him. If it's one-on-one, throw him the football. All it takes is 1 catch. That's what's different about Jalin Hyatt, and that's what's different about players that can make a play with the ball in their hands. It just takes 1 catch. 1 connection from Taylor or Jones to Jalin Hyatt that could break the game open, and that can flip the game on its head. I'm looking for 13 to have a splash play this week against the New York Jets. 4 biggest keys to victory. Let Saquon Barkley eat. He started to heat up after the past couple of weeks coming back from that high ankle sprain. Do not let Zach Wilson operate from a clean pocket. Continue to dial up the blitzes, Wink Martindale. Find 12 early and often, and if Hyatt is one-on-one with no safety help, just frickin' throw it and let the marbles fall where they may. My prediction for this game, the Giants frickin' got me back in after that win versus Washington. Give me the New York Football Giants, 17-13 over the sorry-ass Jets. If you let Zach Wilson beat you this week, Wink Martindale, you got to readjust, man, because that just cannot happen. Giants 17, Jets 13. If you want to talk more Giants football over on Twitter, send me a DM and give me a follow at @MarshallGreen_.